Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I'm the Gensman, and this is the Gensman's Pixel Club, and the game you see here is Destruction Derby. This is a first for the channel. We have not played a PlayStation 1 game on this channel before, and we are doing this today. This is actually why it's taken me so long to get another video up, a couple of days, in getting the environment ready for you, getting the environment so I can give you the best quality video that I possibly can make from the limited resources that I have. And the word limited resources is absolutely not a shout for anybody to give me anything, send me anything. No. This is limited resources that I have with all the retro junk and all the retro rubbish that I've collected over the years. And I found myself actually able to bring my PlayStation 3 back to life to do this for you. The PlayStation 3 was the old fat version, none of these recent slimline versions or anything else like this, but the big chunky beast that we had. It has a problem that the battery, the CMOS battery, is absolutely flat in it, so I have to set the time and date every time I power the thing on, but it allowed me to mod the console. The console being that old on an old firmware allowed it to be modded, and it plays PlayStation 1 games perfectly. It will play PlayStation 2 games perfectly, and obviously play PlayStation 3 games as well perfectly. The issue that some people have with modding is you're using pirate games, pirate firmware, pirate software, that kind of thing. But in this case, the modding for the PlayStation 3 allows you to put your original disc in, do a dump of the disc, so this is running purely off the SSD because I gave it an SSD upgrade as well. And it's absolutely brilliant. I don't know how it improves the loading times from the original CD. I can't remember how long they used to take, but very pleased with the performance, and more importantly, very pleased with the output that you see on the screen. This is in true HDMI without a cable coming from the console directly into a adapter that I've got that drops the HDMI protection, so I can do the recording here, and then straight into the recording unit. I'm not using loads of different cables, switching the signal around, so very happy with the result. If you don't know what Destruction Derby is, it's a brilliant game that came out in 1995, and it spawned a few sequels. We got this Destruction Derby, we got Destruction Derby 2, then I believe there was Destruction Derby Raw, and then I think they had Destruction Derby Arena, and great fun games to play, and retro games as well. This particular game came out I think in 1995, so that would be 26 years old, a lifetime of some people. Some of you will not even been born who are looking at this at the moment. Others would have been born long before. Who knows. It's a game that is fun across many generations, and this is what I love about the retro stuff. How much of today's games will be fun? How much of today's games will we be able to look at in years gone, when some of you young people are my age, what will you look at, what will you enjoy? And I want you to notice this. I came first with 22 points, so remember, first with 22 points. We go back to that in a moment. Yes, what will you enjoy? What games will you remember? And it'd be interesting. I'll be long dead by then, but part of me would love to know in several decades time, maybe 30-40 years, what games are considered retro. Will it still be some of the old stuff that we play here? Who knows? But you've got a great interesting journey ahead of you, and the great thing about retro is you forget stuff. So I went into the pit compound area here thinking, do I get a chance to fix my car? It had been a long time since I played it, so I was waiting for this animation to play out, and then it occurred to me, hang on a minute, that's not my car. What is going on here? So I figure, let's just wait for this to circle, let's wait for it to end. I'm waiting for something to pop up on the screen so I can repair the damage. As I say, it has been a long time since I've played this. It pans back to the lorry, and I think, when is this going to stop? Get my options in a minute. And what happens? This happens. I get another lorry, so it's clearly going around all the competitors, so I thought, no, let's X out of that and move on to the next level. And I find that my car is fully repaired. As I say, it's been a while since I played it, so we move on to the next race, and then we enter crossover. And a few moments ago, I asked you to remember the score, remember what my score was, and I finished first. The first position was a combination of the most race points. You get points for crossing the line for when you lap, I believe, but you score points for causing damage to other cars. And damage be, you can nudge them, you can spin them, you know, you can do all kinds of things to them depending where you hit them and what happens. And you'll see me going around here and my race points will very slowly rack up. You know, you get hits, you hit other things, and when you're the aggressor, when you're the car that hits the opponent cars, you know, you get your points, as I say, slowly build. I'm being shunted about here, but, you know, I hit the side of the car, so I've got 2 points there at the moment, and I'm trying to get back on track, because this is a figure 8 track, and this is an absolute pain in the arse. You've got to be heading the right way, obviously, to do a lap, and, you know, I need to turn around, go down this route and finally go round, and all that shunting about, me hitting other cars, trying to maneuver myself, got me 6 points, but you know, I'm in 20th position, so yeah, this is absolutely terrible, and I've got another 7 laps to do beyond this. But the beauty of this, even if I do wipe out, even if my car does get written off, it is not game over for me. I will be allowed to go to the next race, but the session ends and I just place obviously very low down in the rankings. For some reason I'm driving backwards because it's easier to turn in the crossroads here than try and maneuver elsewhere. See, I got hit I hit a car 360, so I got a lot of points for that. If you can spin a car 360 degrees, you do get decent points, and it's the race points that give you your finishing position. Not where you cross the line, but the race points that give you your finishing position. And the aim for the league is to get as many points as you possibly can, and it stacks up and it builds on the league, and obviously you're trying to finish first. We have a series of tracks to do. There is going to be, I believe, another 2 tracks after this, then effectively the final event, and we are going to play all the way through this because this is a great game. You know, this is worth it. Yes, I'm prattling on and I've told how great it is way too many times, but it truly is. There was a few sequels here. You had Destruction Derby 2 that followed this, you had Destruction Derby Raw that followed this, and I think they made another one called Destruction Derby Arenas as well. And these are games of old, but this game has lived on. You know, you can play Wrecking Racing, I think it is, on the current PC, on current consoles, which is an implementation of this. Brilliant fun, but an updated vision. But this is worth airing, this is worth showing to you all. Damage is really good in this game. You have 10 points around your car. All of mine are red at the moment. If you've been playing a close eye to the car on the bottom right hand side, you would have seen that it was started off all being green. And the damage mechanism is absolutely excellent here. You know, it recognises where you're hit, and bits of your car start to slowly fail. So the more damage you get as it goes from green to red, the worse your car becomes. And my steering has completely gone. I cannot steer at the moment. All I can do is bump into things, go forwards and back, and try and push my way around the track because I have no steering ability. You know, it's not going to be long before it kills me, and you know, your opponents can get killed as well. Look at these cars I'm bumping into. Those are wrecks, and it's race over for me. You see that the red went to black in those 2 areas, but it's race over. But as you play this game, as you go down the track, your opponents can be wrecked, and that makes a difference to you. So I got, I think it was 40 odd points on there. The taxman got 70 points, but he finished 3rd. And notice he didn't finish 1st, but he got 1st because of all the points that he scored on the journey. So as I say, it's not about where you cross the line, it's about how many points you score. This game, obviously you'll see my hands move about here, so I'm not playing live. I know exactly what happens because it is a recording of what I've done where I am doing the voiceover here. This track I had completely forgotten about, and tactics in most racing games that you would expect don't work here. Most racing games you want to get into the first position as much as possible, hope there isn't too much rubber banding going on. And if you don't know what rubber banding is, it's where you get too far ahead of the opponents and they miraculously manage to catch up with you. Real pain in the neck when they do this, but as I say, they catch up with you, and no matter how well you think you're doing, they're always going to be snapping at your heels not too far behind. This game doesn't use it because this game does not need it. This game has reasonably small tracks to have a look at. You know, they're not huge. They don't take minutes to go around. You can get around the track very quickly, you know, in maybe 40 seconds. I say small track. But what happens is you get into first place and you put a bit of distance between yourself and the cars behind you, and then you end up hitting the back of the pack of the cars that are already in front of you. And you've seen on the previous track that I played the amount of damage that happened to me, the amount of damage that happened to the other car, because there was wrecks all over the place. And you then have those as obstacles that are created for you. So rubber banding is absolutely not in effect in this game, but you have the physics of the other cars bouncing around, you have the wreckages that the other cars leave, and it's just a real pain in the neck. And I love that spin that both of us cars did together. It was like dancing on ice, but the Destruction Derby version. Very nice, very good. So I'm not doing well. I'm halfway through the race and I've scored 4 points. It's because I've been trying to avoid collisions stupidly. It took me a little while of playing, in terms of playing the recording that I'm doing here, before I actually tweaked, hang on a minute, I'm not doing what I should be doing here. I was racing to survive, I was racing to win, and not doing a great job. You know, I'm in second place at the moment, but very little damage has happened. The other cars, the little voices that you hear shouting out, I always used to find quite cute. You know, it was nice to have the other drivers feeling a little bit aggressive, you know, get out of the way, and the other odd comments they shout as well. And the people that designed this, the programmers here, they've done just enough to make it fun, where it's absolutely not overbearing. The sound effects for this game, I'm only hearing them now, is minimal, but it's all you need. You know, the sound of the engine as the car goes around. And yeah, this is a really great piece of gaming history to play. I love my car racing games. When I got the PlayStation 3, as I shared, that I modded so I could play this while you set up, you know, I put games that I do own on it, because you know, I have owned the games, but I had to flush the hard drive and redo it. But I did download the package file of Outrun Arcade, which is a brilliant Outrun conversion. It may be a little bit too new because it was on the PlayStation 3 to do, but then when I think about other games I've done on this channel, I believe I've done GTA Club on the Techno Parrot emulator as well, so we'll probably pop that in at some point. But the key focus has to be the old games, you know, the really old games that we play here. And you know, the racing games were great. You know, I've put Blur on it as well, and if you don't know what Blur is and you have access to a PlayStation 3, or it came out on one of the Xboxes as well, get Blur. Blur is Mario Kart for grown-ups. Blur plays exactly like Mario Kart. It doesn't look like Mario Kart, but it plays like Mario Kart, and I might do a video of that. It's a awesome game, but I can't focus too much on the racing games, regardless of how much I love them, because you know, this is not the content. You know, it's not the Gentleman's Racing Club, it's the Gentleman's Pixel Club. And this brings us to this track here, the pain in the neck track, which was the second track, where you have the cross in the middle of the track. This track gives you 2 crosses, and it is a hard track to race around. You know, I do my absolute best, but it's the penultimate track before the final showdown, the final level that you do get to see, that I absolutely love. And you know, that the final showdown, that kind of track, is what brings me to these games. But I do love the stock car racing element that you've got here. You know, I do love the opponent snapping at your heels, which doesn't have the rubber banding, and you know they're getting harder to face, but you're doing your absolute best, you know, to not let them beat you. However, that one just did, and then he hit the barrier and bounced away. But I'm not playing the game right. You know, I need to be scoring points. You know, I am track or lap 2, lap 3 now of these races, and I've scored 0 points. There is no way that I can get on the high score table. What you're going to see, and it's up to you to have a guess where I'm going to end up now, but what you're going to see, lovely spin there, that would have probably hurt a fair bit. What you're going to see at the end of the game is your rankings and where they go, and there's 20 competitors. You're always facing the same 20 competitors in this race. However, it's broken up effectively into leagues, where I think you had 4 people per league, so it's a mini league to, you know, obviously climb that league, move up into the next one, move up from, you know, D to C to B and so on. But, you know, at this rate with only 6 points, you know, I'm going to be doing absolutely shoddy. But we're going to progress. We're going to see where we go. We're going to carry on doing it. I love the advertising boards that you see here as well. And advertising boards I always remember in the racing games. If anyone has played Burnout Paradise, certainly on the Xbox there was a couple of games that came out at one period during the, I think it was when you had Xbox Live, that had in-game advertisements that actually changed and were real and were sponsored by companies. I think this also happened on one of the Rainbow Six games on the Xbox. But yeah, that was really cool to see. You would plug in the game, you would play the game, and you would see online adverts change. You know, these ones are never going to change, but you know, it's a really, really nice touch. The resolution on the PlayStation 1 is obviously very, very small, very low in terms of what you're playing, but I think this scales up absolutely fine. I was looking at the video before I started doing the commentary on this, and I thought, you know what, this has worked out really well. Absolutely glad that I took the time to build the PlayStation 3 and remod it, and you know, great with how we are now. So what you're seeing is something you've not seen. I'm the GPC, and you see me dropping rankings just then. It dropped down by at least 1 place, and you're seeing the race finished by the other people depending on what points they get, where they score. I'm dropping down even further, so my few points that I got was absolutely shoddy, you know. And first is the optician. You know, he got 60 points there. You know, he did really, really well, but according to this, he finished 19th, so it's all about the points. So we're jumping on to the next race, and I had forgotten about this. There is one more race. This is the last race before the final main event, and this is at night. And I'd completely forgotten about this level as well when I was playing it, thinking, good God, this is going to be hard to play. But for some reason, perhaps the memory muscle that I speak about in some games has kicked in. You know, this was a hell of a lot easier. You know, I didn't have too much difficulty with this, so yeah, this was a bit of fun going around. Anyway, I've done a lot of talking so far. I've spoken through many races. What I'm going to do is shut up, sit back, let you watch this race, and then I'll join you effectively on the final race that we have. So see you in a couple of minutes.
Nice move. Second place. Nice move. It's the final lap.
And it's welcome back to me as we finish that race. Notice Suicide Squad, they finished 11th, but they got 36 points, so they're in first place there. We're going to move on to the final race, and this is the part of Destruction Derby that I really used to enjoy. And I think most people probably enjoyed this particular area as well. And I want you to think of a clock face. Every number around the clock is pointing inwards, and this is where all the cars start, and they're all facing each other as they point in, and you effectively go for the major smash up that you've seen there. You know, everybody goes in together, and I forgot about the strategy for this to try and reduce damage. The first thing I should have done was reverse backwards, probably not even accelerated, and I wouldn't have been caught up in all that mess, and my car wouldn't be looking as shoddy as where it is now. You know, I'm looking at the 10 hit points that you've got, and already the left hand side is black. The left hand side central one is black, which means too much damage there and it's game over. And you know, the key here is score as many points by 360 and people around. But if you're caught up in all the mess, you're caught up in all the challenges, like you saw me there, it breaks very quickly. But no, this is a lovely game. I hope you've enjoyed watching something from so many years ago. You know, to me, you know, it's brilliant to play these old things, and you know, the ability to share with each of you is what I love. And you know, all of you, my subscribers that are currently subscribed, thank you to each of you for subscribing. If you're new to the channel, please consider clicking on a subscription. And really the only thing that is about for me, because I achieved the goal, the one goal that I wanted to achieve, which was get over 100 subs to have a channel name that I liked, is to make videos that you enjoy. This is a hobby to do this for me. There is no alternative motive or anything else like this, but this is really good fun. And if you've got this far into the video, I want to say thank you so much. Thank you very much. You'll notice just under my name there's the Undertaker on the screen. I always used to wonder, in fact above me now, was that the Undertaker from wrestling? But no. So here we are. The lady from Suicide Squad has got 70 points. You know, she's ranked really well in this game, and we're going to have a look to see where we place. So as I said earlier, you're in various leagues, and it's not letters, it's numbers here. We are in Division 5. So we're going to view the league and see League 1. Suicide Squad lady has won everything. Division 1 at the top, 228 points that she scored across every race that we have. We got Psycho with 154, Division 2, and H Metal Hero 132 there. So the Scum, for some reason, is in 142 points, and you've got 106 with the Goddess. So I think what this means is if I can win Division 1, which I may do, I will then be able to play and go into Division 4. So win Division 5, I will then go into Division 4. So clearly, if we carried on this, GPC would go into Division 4, and I would work my way up through there. But anyway, I've been the Gentleman. This is the Gentleman's Pixel Club. Hope you've enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.
Would you like to play again?